Hi, welcome to Standard Deviant School, Basic Math. I'm Christiana Knight. Today's program is multiplying integers, and you'll be amazed by how fast they multiply. Anyway, we'll show you all the basics for multiplying integers so you can start doing it yourself. Now let's take a peek at what's coming up.
First off, we'll look at what multiplication is and how it works. Then we'll check out the rules of multiplication, including what happens when you multiply positive and negative numbers. Finally, we'll learn about multiplying larger numbers. Now let's get started with multiplication basics.
Multiplication is simply an extension of addition. In other words, if you add up 5 plus 5 plus 5, you'd get 15. Multiplication simplifies this. Instead of adding these 5s together, you'd multiply the number of 5s, 3 times 5 to equal 15.
The answer to any multiplication problem is called the product. The product of multiplying small integers, those from 12 to 0, can be found in multiplication tables. When you're multiplying positive and negative numbers, there are a few rules to follow. If the numbers you're multiplying are both positive, then your product will always be positive. Anytime you multiply a negative number and a positive number, you will have a negative product.
Okay, the last rule is that the product of multiplying two negative numbers always gives you a positive answer. These rules are the same for any types of numbers you multiply.
This law of multiplication was proved by Harry Stotomite in 1964.
Well, it was a very long process, actually. We started by gathering all the negative numbers we could find, which took several weeks. Then my team and I multiplied them all by each other to see if the products would indeed be positive. Over the next 17 months, we performed 14 trillion computations, and all of them gave positive answers.
Just like addition and subtraction, large numbers being multiplied are usually put one on top of the other, like this mayonnaise, salami, and cheese sandwich. Actors get food catered, you know?
Salami.
Arranged this way, numbers are multiplied digit by digit, just like numbers being added or subtracted.
In order to multiply two large numbers, like 314 times 32, you must first multiply the digit at the far right of the bottom number, in this case 2, by every digit of the top number, one by one from right to left, carrying over if necessary.
Remember that for any math problem, whether you're multiplying, adding, subtracting, or dividing, you always want to keep the digit places lined up, just like ships. I didn't keep them lined up, and the Nina sank, and that was a big pain in my stern.
Ronald's attempting to become the first person to somersault across a whole state. An amazing achievement, even if it is Rhode Island. He's been somersaulting for 23 days now. He somersaults 186 times a day. How many somersaults has he done in all?
So we'll multiply 186 times 23. Remember, you start the multiplication process by multiplying the bottom number on the far right with every digit in the top number of the problem. For this problem, the units place is on the far right.
For our problem, the 3 is the bottom number in the units place. So, the first step in this problem is to multiply 3 by 6, which is 18. Remember, only one digit for each digit place. So we leave the 8 and carry the 1 to the tens place.
We multiply 3 times the next number on top, 8. The product of these two numbers is 24. We must also add the 1 we carried over. So 24 plus 1 is 25. The 5 stays in the tens place of the result, and we carry the 2 to the digit place to the left. We then multiply 3 times 1, which is 3, then add the carried 2 for a result of 5 in the hundreds place. Notice that the 2 is in the tens place. When we multiply the 2 by the number in the units place on top, we have to put the product of those two numbers in the tens place of the result. But that means there will not be a number right here where the units place of our second result is.
You might be wondering, why are we putting the product in the tens place and not the units place?
Well, let's go back to our example and explain.
Notice that the results are placed one under the other here.
The first result is the product of the bottom digit in the units place, 3, times the top number in our multiplication problem, 186. The second result is the product of the bottom digit in the tens place, 2, times the top number in our multiplication problem.
Now listen closely to this next bit of info. The units place for the product of the bottom digit times the top number should always go in the same digit place as the bottom digit you're multiplying by. Any spaces to the right of that product's units place that aren't used can be filled in with zeros. So, we put a 0 underneath the 8 in the units place of our second result. That's because the bottom digit we're multiplying by, 2, is in the tens place, and we want the units place of the product of 2 times the top number to go in the tens place as well.
So, who wants to do some more multiplying? Me!
Let's get on with this little rascal by multiplying 2 times 6, which is 12. The 2 goes in the tens place of the second result. We carry the 1 to the next column. We multiply 2 times 8, which equals 16, then add the carried 1 to equal 17. The 7 stays in the hundreds place of the second result, and the 1 is now carried over. Our last multiplication operation is to multiply 2 times 1 to equal 2, then add the carried 1 to equal 3. We put this in the thousands place of the second result.
For this example, we only have 2 results, because the bottom number only has 2 digit places. If we'd had 3 digits in the bottom number, then we would have had 3 results. So the last thing we need to do is add the results. 558 plus 3,720 equals 4,278. So that's the answer.
And that's the 411 on multiplication. Before we call it a day, let's review what we've learned.
Multiplication is an extension of addition. The answer to a multiplication problem is called the product. If you multiply 2 positive numbers, you get a positive product. If you multiply 1 positive number with 1 negative number, you get a negative product. And if you multiply 2 negative numbers, you get a positive product. When you multiply large numbers, you put one on top of the other and multiply them digit by digit.
Well, guys, we came, we saw, we multiplied. Thanks for watching Standard Deviant School Basic Math. I'm Christiana Knight saying, see you later.